the nuts. Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is going to be the Q&A video. I had a couple of questions on the video, had a couple more questions on the channel itself, which it took me forever to figure out how to find those messages, but we got there in the end. So, first things first, shorty levers. I actually took the ends off, so now they are actually shorty levers. I had to fiddle with the clutch a bit again, just to get it right, but it's so good. So good, and the clutch is so much better set now than it was before as well, so that is excellent. Anyway, what I'll do, guys, because I can't necessarily remember everything, you know, the questions and who they were by and everything like that, so what I will do is throw it up on the video, who asked the question, but I will just answer the questions. So, the first question that I received was, I am 17 years old. Should I do my A1 now, or should I wait and hold out until I'm 19 to do my A2? And my answer for that to you, my friend, go ahead and get the A1 done. The cost of the tests really aren't as much as you would think. I would go ahead, call up your local motorcycle trainer or tester, have a word with them and just see what they can offer, but generally prices are really good anyway. So I would encourage you to go ahead and do the A1, and the reason why I say that is because you're going to get to take those nasty L plates off your bike, and most bikes look sexy anyway. I mean, the CBR 125R looks sexy, the R125 looks sexy, you know, the new KTMs look sexy. I would probably advise you, my friend, to get those L plates off, do that test. It gives you a lot more freedom. You can take passengers if you want to, and hey, you've still got 2 years before you go ahead and take your A2 anyway, at which point I would advise doing that as soon as you can as well. The next question, the CBR 125R, how practical is it? And in addition to that, how is it at coping with back roads with no road markings, or, you know, maybe some slightly sketchy surfaces? So I'm on cold tires right now, and I have no fear of taking this. Look at this. I have no fear of taking this thing out on cold tires, which is possibly the worst time to, you know, chuck the bike around. This bike, I don't know whether it's the tires that come with it, because honestly I haven't replaced them, but the CBR 125R out of the showroom, that is everything absolutely stock, is fantastic. It's extremely comfortable for a super sport bike because the handlebars are higher set than the seat, which means you get this nice upright riding position. And the great thing about the CBR is that if you don't like that, you can always purchase yourself some clip-ons to lower the handlebars, and you can probably adjust the rear shock. I haven't looked to see if it is adjustable or not, but I'm guessing that it is. Generally the rear side of the bike on the lower end bikes are slightly adjustable in like a 5-stage or a 7-stage, and the fronts generally aren't, and as you go up to the more expensive bikes, like onto the R1s and stuff like that, they're generally adjustable front and back. So what I'm saying is you have choices if it's not comfortable, which I can't imagine anybody not being comfortable on this. As far as sketchy roads and back roads and things like that go, this thing is a monster. The amount of times I've come around a corner and seen gravel on the floor, because I had an R125, I instantly popped the bike up straight, because I know that with the R125, if you're leaning the bike at all and you go over a sketchy surface like that, again, I don't know whether it's the stock tyres or the way the suspension's set up, but it's just not fun at all. Whereas on this bike, I've gone over gravel with the bike leaned over, and the back wheel did slide, but the thing is, even when the bike is sliding, it's in a weird way a comfortable feeling, and you know, that's comfortable for having no control of the motorcycle, because I mean, you would expect it to be, you know, the scariest thing in the world. You're going X fast and you've got no control over the bike, and you know, you just get that oh my god feeling in your chest, and you just don't necessarily get that. You get oh shit, but other than that, you're okay. What's going on here? So yeah, for the back roads and things, this thing is awesome. In general comfort and rideability, this thing is absolutely awesome. My next question I was looking forward to answering this one a lot, actually, because I'm in a fairly similar predicament myself. So this question is, I'm doing my CBT, but I'm old enough to do my direct access. Should I start on a 125 or should I start on a 600? My advice to you, my friend, and believe me, I have searched. I have put hours upon hours upon hours of time looking into this, the various different bikes that are available, and believe me, if you're a keen super sport rider, that is what you want to ride. You're going to be looking at 600s, you're going to be looking at the R6, the ZX6R, the Gixxer, you're going to be looking at all of these different beautiful bikes, and you're going to find that they're very, very expensive to insure. I used to drive a BMW 330D, which is a 3-litre turbo diesel BMW. It was an 08 plate, it was a very fast car. I managed to insure that thing for about £700 a year, which is ridiculously cheap. But you have to bear in mind, I've been driving for 5 years with nearly a 5 years no claims bonus. So when we're talking about bikes, like you say, I'm assuming you're doing your CBT, you're looking to possibly get a 600, you're thinking about it, which means you probably don't have a lot of riding experience on the road, which means, and I'm not going to get into the whole are you ready to handle a 600 thing. I think that's a totally different thing. What I think you need to focus on are the costs and the practicalities, and a 600 is going to cost you on insurance, my friend. It's going to cost you a lot. I got a quote, right now I'm paying 500 for this because technically it's my first year of riding, because I didn't insure for 2 years, so there was a 2-year gap, so basically my no claims bonus got written off. But it's going to cost you upwards of £1,000 UK pounds, pretty much, for an R6, for any kind of decent year one. So with that in mind, I seriously suggest you start looking at the 300s. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Is it going to be enough? Am I going to get bored? Well, my advice to you on that front would be, you are going to get bored on a 125. I have a bug in my eye. My advice to you would be, you are going to get bored on a 125, especially if you're at an age where you can do your direct access. 125s are great, okay, they are the most flickable, the most fun, but the thing about them is, like this hill for example, if I'm coming up this hill in second gear, it's not a problem. As soon as I hit third gear, I am pinning this thing absolutely full throttle and I'm going nowhere, and that's just not fun. And I mean, you might, you know, that makes me inclined to get a bigger bike. If you get 300, now let's just take the Yamaha R3 for example. That thing sits on the limit of an A2 category license. It's about 45 brake horsepower, or 42 PS. I'm not sure about kilowatts, sorry guys. That thing does 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, 5 seconds. Now just to put that into perspective, my 3-litre turbocharged BMW was 6.8 seconds, 0 to 60, or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. And yeah, that's a fast bike, and I've heard that thing will just cruise up to 70 miles an hour with no issues whatsoever. I've seen videos of it accelerating past 100 miles an hour, and it gets there pretty damn easily as well. The fuck is... So, I mean, the R3, you know, it's light and flickable like a 125. It's going to be so much cheaper on insurance. It's got the power that a 125 just doesn't have. It doesn't come with the insurance premium that an R6 does. I have this thing in my eye, man. So I would highly, highly recommend you look at the 300 categories. So I would recommend, everything into account, grab yourself a 300. Do your direct access test as soon as you can. And once you've got that out of the way, ride the R3 for a year or two. Wait for your insurance to come down. As soon as your insurance comes down, go and grab yourself an R6 or whatever super bike, super sport it is that you want. That would be my advice to you. Definitely the best thing to do. Is he really? Okay. So my next question, forgive me guys, I can't remember who asked the rest of these questions, I did look them up and sort of take notes of them a while ago. Really, you're going that way? I'm going to go through town then. I don't think you guys have seen me ride through town. Okay, so my next question. Jesus, man, the bugs in my eyes today. Next question. Modding your bike. Is it worth me modding my bike? Okay, well, let me start by telling you what I've done to my bike. I have the shorty levers. That's it. That alone, oh my god, this bike is so much better to ride than with the stock levers, honestly. I highly recommend mods on your bike. If you're only going to own a bike for a couple of months, 6 months or so, it's worth doing a few tiny mods. Get rid of the mirrors, get a bar end mirror, it's much better for visibility, and then also you can get some mirror block offs and stuff. It'll make your bike look sexy as well. Jesus, dude. That would be my advice for that. That would be my advice for that. If you're going to keep the bike for another couple of years, say if you're going to get like a you know, an R3 for a couple of years or an R6 for a couple of years, whatever it is, I would go ahead and start to take the mods to the next level. Oh, why did I go through a center time? So I would probably say go for something like halo headlights, or swapping out the rear sets. That's a lot of police today. Swap out the rear sets, upgrade your brake lines, get yourself a set of clip-ons if you want a more aggressive riding style. Those would be the kind of mods that I would recommend at that point in time, but there's no point in going through all of that trouble, because all you're going to do with a bike you're going to have for a couple of months is ruin the resale value of the bike. That's why I've only done the levers and stuff. I'm only doing things on my bike that I can easily swap back on for stocks when I come to sell the bike. The exception to that for me is that I have the Scorpion can on this bike, but the Scorpion can on this bike came out of the showroom with it. So I mean, when you get that option, they do give you the stock exhaust back, which is nice. What is all this police business about? So that would be my recommendation to you, my friend. And I ain't gonna abuse. Oh, I don't know if I can use a cycle lane actually legally. I'll just sit here for a bit. So that would be my advice to you. The next question I have is, how good is a 125 on gas mileage or economy compared to a 300, a 600 and a litre bike? So first things first, I can tell you the 125 is incredible. I put 8 English pounds into my motorcycle every 2 months. If I'm riding to work every day, which I have started doing lately, I am filling this thing once a month, just £8 a month. But if I'm not riding it to work, it lasts me 2 months. And I ride every weekend without fail, or well, hopefully without fail. There have been occasions. And on the other hand, you know, if you're riding it every day, it doesn't add as much as you would think. So when it comes to 300s actually have a bigger tank than the 125s do. So typically your gas is going to last a lot longer, but of course you're putting more money in. So the 300s aren't as economical as a 125, but the thing is they have, you know, a decent engine. I'm not saying 125s don't have a decent engine, but you know, comparatively, you get a lot more power for your economy. So I would say that the 300 would be a more ideal situation, even though the economy isn't quite as good. Moving into like the R6s and things like that, I know a couple of people that own R6s, or just 600s in general, sorry. And the mileage is not fantastic. It's about 30 mpg-ish for your average rider, which is going to be cruising it a lot of the time and pinning it some of the time. So I mean, there's that, but you don't really buy a Super Sport with economy in mind. If you did, you would buy a 300 or a 650F. You know, something, you know, some touring version of a Super Sport bike, a sports tourer. On a litre bike? What economy? There's no economy, you fool! No! You don't buy a litre bike for economy. What the hell was that? Yummy! What is with all the police? Let me see if I can catch someone and ask him. there you go, guys. Those are the questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to let me know, and I will put those in another video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys later.